Welcome to Kids True Crime. Pulling up, hit and go. It's showtime. Hey, hey. Chat squad rolling in line. Best crew on the screen, that's the headline. We pull up to the scene, Mr. calling out each detail. Real clean, Patty said, just judging the fee. Running double dropping theories at top speed. Caroline Cooper in caps lock. Rachel from Mars with the straight talk. Angel in the back with the side eye. We ride or die in the live, let the time fly. Welcome to Kids True Crime. True Crime. We got push people talking in real time. Real time. We got trolls in the corner, we don't mind. Hit them with a one-liner, fill up from behind. Best community on this whole site. We laugh, we roast, but we hold tight. Get a little copy, that's what we're here for. Bad ass fight, yeah. Up, push and score. Bad ass fight, yeah. Melissa in the bushes on patrol, putting out the fires when the rumors roll. Flames toddler in the back, all jokes. Inside last of the day one's folks. Feel the chatter climbing up the chat wall. Names flying fast, can't catch them all. From the first bell ring to the last word said. We brains tease spaces till it's time for bed. Welcome to Kids True Crime. True Crime. We got push people talking in real time. Real time. We got trolls in the corner, we don't mind. Hit them with a one-line, fall from behind. Best community on this whole site. We laugh, we roast, but we hold tight. Get a little pocket, that's what we're here for. Back ass fight, yeah. Up, blast was for. Back ass fight, yeah. 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 Back ass fight, yeah. Drop a heart in the chat for the day ones. Drop a flame for the late night reruns. If you know, then you know that's the code word. Kit says what she thinks, every quote heard. We stay loud, stay proud when the stream's on. Same fan, same clan when the cam's gone. One click, one link, and we're back at the door to the badass softcore lore. Welcome to Kids True Crime. True Crime. We got push people talking in real time. Real time. We got trolls in the corner, we don't mind. Hit them with a one-line, fall but behind. Best community on this whole side. We laugh, we roast, but we hold tight. Get a little cookie, that's what we're here for. Bad as bud, yeah. Softcore. Bad as bud, yeah. Yeah. Bad as bud, yeah.
What's good? What's good? Oh, I'm like, oh my God, StreamYard, you guys, this is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is a case we suffered through. This is a case that I took a lot of heat for, okay? But it was worth it. It was a learning experience, okay? There has been an overturn in her conviction. She gets a new trial. So this is what I'm wondering. Hello, Missy. I hope you feel better. Melissa from the bushes. Who else is here? Hi, Amber. Can you believe this shit? Let me tell you something. I wonder if she'll be able to get a bond hearing. They won't give her a bond. They won't do that. But I wonder if that's an option. It's like starting all over, innocent till proven guilty. Okay, let me tell you something, guys. I followed this case super close, okay? If you want to know anything about the case, you just ask me, Alex, Word Case Files, right? And Melissa Jade, okay? Nobody else but us, okay? We all know about this case. I'm just saying that. For real, I mean it though. If you want to know info, like Alex and them, they got all the jail calls and all that. I got the letters, okay? And I do got the calls of me and her too. But I'm in shock. Let's get through the documents here. I'm sorry. I blown away. You guys, guess what we're gonna have to do? Oh, that's what I was telling people. Um, because of Jesse, me losing my channel, every video I had of Gannon and Letecia's freaking gone. Everything I did. At least, I'm telling you, 500 plus videos from January 2020 until she was convicted. I can't believe this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Poor Deanna's mama. Oh God. And Dad. Okay, let's get to the documents. Anybody can come up here, okay? It's a lot of reading. Anybody can come up and help if they choose. Okay. I know what happened here because, I watched the trial. But for the ones that don't, here we go. Oh, Jesus. I wonder what Judge Warner thinks. He's an amazing judge. He put up with her shit. Yes, it's for real. Can you believe that, Jenny? It's crazy. Hi, Rhonda. Here we go. Here it is. All right. This was just dropped a little bit ago, April 2nd. Here's the summary. People versus Stauch. Let's see. Criminal law, structural error, waiver, invited error, jury bias, challenges for cause. Here we go. A division of the Court of Appeals considers whether or, oh my God, here we go with the big words. Erroneously denied challenge for cause is waived or invited by virtue of the fact that the defendant does not use peremptory. I don't know what that is. Challenge to remove a biased juror to correct the trial court. People, the juror in this case that was brought up during jury selection, she or he, I can't remember. I don't know if she was related to the DA that was, in the trial. Oh, God. The majority finds neither waiver nor invited error in this context in applying people versus, and it goes with case law, concludes that error warrants reversal for structural error because of a biased juror deliberated. The dissent concludes that the defendant waived the right to claim error on appeal by exhausting all her what is that word, you guys? Please help me. Challenges without excusing. Now, let me tell you something. Biased juror. Okay, they had, the Court of Appeals, they answered, but didn't Letecia's attorneys not really fight hard for that? Huh? Oh my God, it is. I'm so sick to my stomach. No other shit's going to happen again. Listen to me. All this shit's going to happen again with this case because there's going to be new people not understanding what's going on with this case, right? I got to say it. People not understanding this case, and they don't. I'm going to get shit again. I'm telling you that. I can handle the shit like now, but people don't realize this is all old news, right, with me and Letecia, but it's all going to come back. All the nonsense is going to come back, right? But, we all know. We all know. Oh, God, I can't believe we're going to go through this again. Defendant Letecia appeals the judgment of conviction entered after a jury found her guilty of first-degree murder. First-degree murder of a child under 12 by one in possession of trust, tampering with the deceased body, tampering with physical evidence, multiple crimes of violence, sentence enhancers. Because we conclude that the trial court committed structural error by denying Letecia's challenge to a biased juror who deliberated, we reverse the conviction and remand for a new trial. You guys, I can't believe this. I'm sorry. The prosecution presented evidence at the trial. People that don't know her, she is something else. Okay, she's something. Oh God, where am I? The prosecutor presented evidence at the trial that Letecia brutally murdered her 11-year-old stepson, Gannett. By the way, Gannett would be 17 right now, by putting his body in a suitcase and left it under a bridge in Florida. Letecia had pled not guilty by reason of insanity, arguing that she suffered from dysodia. I can't remember. Identity disorder. What was it again? Whatever. You guys can read what I'm doing. I'm just like blown away right now. But the jury rejected that defense and found her guilty as charged. No, see, you know what? This is what Letecia did. It was first she did guilty by the reason of insanity. Okay? Then she changed it. Okay? The trial court sentenced Letecia to a life imprisonment without the possibility of parole and hold on, my phone. Plus 2 consecutive sentences for 2 tampering convictions. On appeal, Letecia claims that the court committed structural error when it denied her challenge for cause to a biased prospective juror, who then deliberated. She also asserts that the court erred by denying her request to suppress evidence. Oh, God, no. Stop it. Obtained pursuant to an overboard warrant. Overbroad, I'm sorry. And by admitting certain testimony by her ex-husband, God, which is Ganna's dad. We agreed that the court committed structural error, but it denied Letecia's challenge for cause, and a biased juror deliberated. As a result, her convictions must be reversed because it is likely to arise on remand. We also consider and reject Letecia's Fourth Amendment challenge to search warrant. Do you guys remember the search warrant thing with their phones and stuff? However, we do not reach the remaining inventory issue. Challenge for cause. Let's see. So they use these laws. Section 1610.03 provides that the trial court shall sustain a challenge for a cause on one or more of the following: relationship within the third degree, by blood, adoption, marriage, or to a defendant or to any attorney of record or attorney engaged in the trial of the case. The existence of state of mind in the juror evincing enmity or bias towards the defendant or the state, the court is satisfied from the examination of the juror or from other evidence that he will render an impartial verdict according to the law and the evidence submitted to the jury at trial. Jurors who fall within one of these categories are considered biased as a matter of law based on substation, and then they give, all that actual bias under this unless they can be rehabilitated upon a challenge for cause. The trial court is required to excuse them because, except for described in this statute here, case law, whatever it may be, they cannot be rehabilitated. Okay, case law. Okay, do you guys want to read that? Do we want to read that? Oh, hell no! 54 pages? Hey, someone's got to come up here and help me read. There is 54 pages to this. Your cousin, Dippy, your cousin, it was overturned. Yeah, you better call your hubby's auntie. I remember I was blessed to raise three bone. Oh, were you? She's an absolute monster. Should never see the light of day ever again. Yeah, she's a really good liar too. She fooled a lot of people, and I was one of them. I don't know, and I was just asking everybody. Oh my god, I got to get hold of other people. I was just wondering, is she gonna be able to get a bond hearing? Hey, Misty, that's when I met you. Remember, I was we were doing the Letecia trial. It lasted forever. Yeah, do you want to help me read? There's 54 pages. Thank you, Dippy. Appreciate it. Okay. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yep, we had Letecia trial that summer and Lori Vallows. Remember? Boy, that was a busy year. Yeah, you get him out of there. We don't need to hear him. Yes. Okay, here we go. So let's listen to this case law here. Who is this? People versus McCrander. The Supreme Court held that when a elected district attorney is an attorney on record, includes prospective jurors who are related not only to the elected district attorney, but any deputy district attorney in that office at the time jury selection occurs. Oh my God. Okay, and then you got people versus nobody. That is the statute directs automatic removal of the juror related within third degree to any deputy district attorney and the elected district attorney to the records office, regardless wherever the deputy district attorney appeared or participated in the case. This perceives the appearance, if not the reality, of fairness in a criminal prosecution and public trust and confidence in the criminal justice system. When the trial court errs, denies a challenge for cause, and a biased juror serves on the jury, the error is structural and requires reversal. God, this is crazy. This is crazy. Additional facts. As part of the Vordia, the prospective jurors completed a questionnaire. That's right. Sorry, guys. Questionnaire that included a question about whether they have friends or relatives in law enforcement. Prospective juror MB indicated that his son-in-law worked for the El Paso County District Attorney. Okay. During the follow-up questioning, juror MB confirmed that his son-in-law worked as a deputy district attorney at the same office. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. And for Michael Allen, the elected district attorney in El Paso County and the prosecuting attorney in this case. Defense counsel later identified juror MB among the prospective jurors he wished to challenge for cause. When the court asked for more detail, defense counsel explained his son-in-law works for Mr. Allen. The prosecutor and the court made the following comments. Oh boy, this is going to be good. Hold on a minute. I think Dippy's here. Hi, Dippy. Thank you for being here.
Hey, baby.
I don't know. I don't know. This is crazy. Okay, let me read.
She better not get out of jail because she ain't got nowhere to go.
I don't think they would. Not with these kind of charges.
They better keep
Okay.
her locked up, crazy ass woman.
Okay. So during the voir dire, prosecutor said, "I hate to agree with defense counsel, but the follow-up question were never asked. How is this going to impact his ability to be fair and an impartial juror? And that certainly doesn't rise to the level of statutory cause, so we would object to him being released for cause." Court says, yeah, I'm going to circle back to that one too. Probably what I'm going to do is not excuse juror MB at this point in time and think about it over the weekend and see where we were. Oh God, we are. I tend to agree that I don't think it's a statutory cause, and I didn't hear anything else about the fact creating an issue or a conflict or something else. I don't run across those sets of facts very often, so I just think need to think about it that one, and it may be that I decide it next week. The prosecutor suggested that the court ask further questions of juror and B, and the court agreed. Defense counsel objected. I think the record it is what it is, and I guess the only thing I think there is, a difference between somebody saying I have a son or a daughter who works for the police, then I have a son-in-law who works for the DA who's actually trying the case, and so I think that's where it becomes different. Even if it was a different DA, other than his son-in-law's direct boss who is trying the case, I think it would be different, and I'll leave it at that. Hey, Dippy, do you want to read that now?
Sure. The trial court brought the prospective jurors back into the room and asked juror MB how long his son in law had worked for the district attorney, whether juror MB had discussed the case with his son in law, and whether juror MB had discussed the case. Wait, where did I go? Might influenced by the desire to have the case worked out better for his son in law. Based on his answers, the court instructed juror MB to return the next day. He was ultimately dismissed.
Okay.
Where am I at? No, you went to. The Attorney General does not dispute the juror MB fell within the category described by Section 1610-103 because he was related within the third degree to his son-in-law, who was the deputy district attorney in the prosecuting district attorney's office. We are bound by the Supreme Court's determination that his bias was implied by law. What does that say? Nevertheless, the Attorney General argues that reversal is not warranted because it is not clear from the record whether juror MB deliberated. The Attorney General also asserts that defense counsel challenged for the cause was not properly preserved and that the counsel either waived or initiated the trial court error. We are not persuaded by these arguments.
Nope. Oh, sorry.
I'm kind of confused on that. That's like,
There.
to me, that was like saying the same thing in a different way.
That's what they do.
This is all new.
Who are you talking to?
Well, because I didn't come in the beginning. I didn't realize that you were live.
What do you think's happening, woman?
Because her aunt was just at our family thing on Saturday, and
This
none of
just
this
came
was
out
brought
today.
up. Well, wouldn't she have known about? I would think she would have known about this.
I have no idea. Oh, yeah.
Of
Right?
course. And
All
half of her
right.
family members want her to stay there, so I mean,
MB deliberated. A review of the records demonstrates that juror MB deliberated. Indeed, the trial court granted Letecia's motion to settle the record on this point, removing any doubt. The challenge is properly before us. The Attorney General argues that Letecia failed to properly preserve her challenge for cause because counsel did not explicitly cite section, okay, there's case law, and did not correct the trial court's proposed misunderstanding that the challenge for cause was based on something other than statutory grounds. The Attorney General further asserts that defense counsel comments after making the challenge for cause suggest that the challenge for the juror and B actual biased. Oh God, notification. I'm so sorry, guys. Stupid notifications. Where am I? Not
like the
his.
second sentence up from the last one.
Where? Right here?
Based on juror MB's actual bias. Yeah, right where your thing was.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were going to finish it. I can't, the the chat is on the screen. I can't see it.
You can't see? Hold on. Let me get back into StreamYard.
Oh, never mind. It's not covering it. I thought it was covering it. Subject to rehabilitation, not his implied bias based on his relationship to the prosecutor. For the reasons discussed below, we conclude that the court considered. Excuse me.
Oh, here's a footnote. While the Attorney General attempts to dismiss this portion of the record as new material, the trial court order settling the record was accepted as part of the supplement record on appeal. It is therefore properly. Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
I'm so confused.
Why are you confused?
And what is this woman trying to do?
She's trying to hurt them even more. That's what she's trying to do.
It's
But
crazy.
but
why
this,
keep putting them through this shit?
no, this makes sense though. You want to know why it makes sense?
Why?
Because they're looking for clerical errors, right? So all this stuff, oh God, I can't believe this. Hey, 99 Problems, how you doing?
What trial was it that we covered that there was clerical error in it?
I can't
Never mind.
remember.
I don't know if it
Oh,
was me.
look,
It was the
Lord
Murdoch
Gallows.
trial.
But we got 54 pages to read here, lady. Go ahead. You're next.
Man. Where am I
Right
at?
here. Right here.
To begin, we recognize that the defense counsel challenged for the cause potentially implicated two different subsections of Section 1610 103. Recall that the statute requires the court to sustain a challenge for cause on one or more grounds, including implied bias based on the relationship to the attorney of record, subsection 1B, and actual bias subject to rehabilitation. That is, defense counsel could have based his challenge on juror MB's relationship to the prosecutor or
They
his
should, you know what? I agree. They should have known better.
statement. Don't they have to, don't, at the beginning of the juror, isn't that one question they ask you?
They ask you, let me turn that off.
If you have any type of family member or anything like
Yes.
that.
When they send you when you answer questions. That's the first time you're asked.
I've never done a trial like hers, but I know they've asked me every time I've done jury.
All
It
right.
just it doesn't make sense.
MB's relationship to the prosecutor or his state of mind resulting from the relationship. Giving this context, we reach two conclusions from the record. First, we conclude that the counsel stated reason his son in law worked for Mr. Allen, which is sufficient to trigger a ruling under, let's read this footnote. Oh, God. The Attorney General frames their argument in terms of, what is this word, Jiffy? Preservation, which directs our standards of reversal, but structural error generally requires automatic reversal without regard to whether the error was preserved. Nonetheless, in order for us to review the error denial of the challenge of cause, a challenge for cause must have been made. All right. Second, even if it was not clear solely from counsel's challenge to juror MB, on the part of the statute counsel was relying. We nevertheless conclude that the prosecutors and court's subsequent comments brought subsection, squarely into play for purposes for our review. See People versus Melendez. Okay, where are we? Telematic language is not required to preserve argument for appeal, but the trial court must be presented with opportunity to rule the issue. As the prosecutor correctly observed at the time of the challenge, neither attorney had asked any questions or what's this word, you guys? I can't even read today. Elicit whether juror MB had a state of mind evincing an enemy, I can't even say that word, or bias without questions. There was no way to tell whether juror B should have been excused for actual bias under section. Having recognized this, the prosecutor continued to note that the challenge certainly didn't rise to a level of statutory cause. In this context, we conclude the prosecutor could have only been referring to statutory cause based on implied bias under substation 1B. The trial court's subsequent comments likewise suggest its awareness for the distant for causing cause. Oh, well, hold on, you guys. Hold on. I gotta mute this a sec. Okay. Where am I? Comments likewise suggest its awareness for distant for cause challenging available under the subsections, okay, 1B and 1J. The court first finds, I don't think it's a statutory cause, and then note that didn't hear anything else about the fact creating an issue or conflict or something else. These comments indicate accuracy and improper rejection of challenge based on the relationship itself under substation, followed by a separate consideration of rejection of the challenge based on the biased state of mind under subsection, despite the Attorney General's arguments. We do not read these statements as demonstrating confusion, but the nature of the defense counsel's challenge, instead read in context. We conclude that trial court statement, I don't think it's statutory cause, reflected the court's mistaken belief that juror MB implied bias based on his relationship to the prosecutor as distant from the actual bias as a result of the relationship. did not trigger mandatory removal under section, right there. In other words, the trial court was not questioning whether defense counsel was making a statutory challenge for cause based on the relationship itself. Instead, oh, let's go to the cliff note here so we're reading it right. Okay. The record further supports this reading. In addition to juror MB, defense counsel identified juror number 8. Oh, defense counsel identified juror number 8 among the jurors he wished to challenge for cause. He explained that juror number 8 had indicated on his questionnaire that he could not be fair in the case involving child abuse. Was not sure he could set aside information he heard about the case, believed not guilty by reason of insanity, was employed to excuse the alleged crime, and was never asked about any of that. Contrast, when asked about the bias for the challenging juror MB for cause, defense counsel simply said, yeah, his son-in-law works for Mr. Allen. All right, let's get back here. All right. When the trial court ruled, where are you, Dippy? When the trial court ruled on
I'm right
claim
here
rape,
waiting for you to tell me to read.
read, woman. I
Well, now
heard the
I
dogs
don't
and I
know where the
thought you
hell
went
they're at.
somewhere. I thought
No,
I heard the dogs and I thought you went somewhere.
no, they barked and I muted out to tell her to shut up.
Okay, go ahead.
Are we at
We're
where
on
trial?
20.
Okay. When the trial court ruled on the claim raised on appeal, it is properly before us. People versus McPhee. Defense counsel's subsequent argument that the situation might be different if the juror's son-in-law worked for the police or for a different district attorney other than his direct boss, who is trying the case. I agree. Does not change the result. No, but still doesn't make it fair either. As the Attorney General acknowledges that argument went to whether juror MB should be excused for the actual bias under section, and the trial court already had rejected the challenge under section. As a result, defense counsel was under no further. Didn't you just read that?
Yeah, this is a footnote. I read it.
Go down a little bit.
There you go.
Okay, wait a minute. Likewise, the defense counsel did not cite section 1610-103 is of no moment. The Attorney General relies on People versus Civilos Acosta. What the 104 140 P3 whatever Colorado Act 2005, in which a division of this court declined to consider the denial of a challenge for a cause because defense counsel did not specifically cite sections. But in Civilos Acosta, defense counsel moved to challenge the juror for cause because he would place authority on the testimony of a police officer over anybody else, not based on mere existence of a relationship covered by the statute. This case distinguishable. Defense counsel initial challenge for the cause. Now we're getting into these big words. Succinctly stated that juror MB was related to the prosecutor. Unlike in Civilos Acosta, counsel did not argue that juror MB might have actual bias in favor of the prosecution. And as discussed, even if the defense counsel comments left any doubt, the prosecutor and trial court expressly acknowledged and dismissed the possibility of a statutory challenge based on the relationship itself. On these facts, we conclude the trial court was on notice of the particular grounds for the challenge, even without a specific reference to section whatever. People versus Comer, 2015, COA 117M. No, an argument that goes to the subject matter of a statute without citing the statute directly significantly preserves the matter for appeal. See also People versus Cognac, 2014, COA 8M 12. Challenge for the cause preserved, even though it was not expressively for the cause, because the context made clear it was a challenge for the cause. That did not make any sense.
I know. Law don't make any sense to me either. Let's see. Let's see if there's any comments.
Bunch of big words and went nowhere.
Can you believe this, Seth? Can you believe this? Hello, sweetie. How are you? I know, isn't it awful? Forget about that stuff. Right? I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay. Okay, you guys. I cannot believe this. I'm still in shock. I can and I can't. But you know what? She will be convicted, right? It's just to put her Ganna's family through this. Again, they're going to have to face her once again in a courtroom. I mean, come on, her phone proof, right? Her own words, right? Her own words. Her writing her talking to people on her way to Florida. I mean, hey, remember you went to the that bridge where Ganna's body was found, and we done like a little thing for him. I mean, come on, her phone pinged right there on the bridge. You know.
All right. I had to explain to him what was going on, considering, that's who
Oh, hi, Rapper.
That's who she's related to him, not me.
Yep, she gets a new trial.
Shut up.
Oh,
now
and
she's considered innocent.
This is going to be, I think, a more amusing trial than the last one.
Oh God, that one was. I don't mean to laugh. It wasn't a funny thing, but her behavior in the courtroom and Judge Warner. I think Judge Warner did an amazing job.
He deserves a fucking plaque.
The way he handled her, he really did a good job in that hearing.
Yeah,
she really put him through a lot. And
I pray that he doesn't have to deal with her a second time, though.
And he was professional the whole way.
He was a really, 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 really good boy. A really, really good judge. Yep. Really good judge.
I don't understand how this is. Well, that's what.
Neither do I. Neither do I. I'm reading this and I'm like, I do not understand. Like when you read it to yourself, it's more like you can understand it a little bit better. But when you're reading it out loud, you're like, what in the hell am I reading?
Well, for me, yeah, because I have a problem reading, right? And all the words become one word. It's hard to explain. I don't know. What would you call that?
I don't know.
Dyslexia,
I know
maybe? I don't know.
Kind of
it
dyslexic.
Is, ain't it? Especially the people that get the death penalty. They get to try, 20, 30 times?
It's crazy that she's even getting this chance again.
No, they gotta do it. They gotta do it till our appeals run out.
They say that the appeals.
No, I'm saying
shush. I was listening to something earlier where they were saying if you don't. Okay, shush, please. You get 8 years to. You got 8 years to get all your appeals done.
I'm saying I don't know how many they limit.
And this was what, 2023?
Yeah.
Or 2023, was it?
2023.
That's like
Goodness
O.J.
gracious.
Simpson. He got his shit dropped down for a technicality.
Oh my god.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's not right. It happens every day.
I
Can
feel
you
sorry
please go?
for his family too. Can you believe they're going to
Mhm.
have to go on? Oh God, they're going to have to do this all
They're gonna have
over
to
And they
again.
already know that
They've
it's a
gotta
fact
go
that
through-
she drove from
Daniel,
Florida, from
hush.
California to.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to continue reading. Well, she handles business. Okay, here we go. The error was neither waived nor invited. The waiver is an intentional relinquishment of a known right or privilege. Okay, and then they talk about people and redigger. We indulge every reasonable presumption against it. Invited error, by contrast, prevents a party from complaining on appeal of an error that the party invited or injected into the case. It is a narrow doctrine. Yep, and remember, Letecia's got a doctrine too. Don't forget, people. And applies to errors in trial strategy, but not to errors that result in oversight. The Attorney General asserts that the defense counsel waived or invited the trial court's error by failing to clarify the basis of the challenge after the ruling, suggesting that the court was confused about the grounds for the challenge. But we have already concluded that the trial court's comments did not indicate that it misunderstood the nature of the challenge for cause, only that it did not believe excusal by warranted. Given this reading of the record, the foundation of the Attorney General waiver invited error argument collapses. In any event, even after Juror MB answered the trial court's follow-up questions, defense counsel said, "I maintain my objection." To Juror MB, this ongoing objection suggests there's no waiver. Nor can we conclude that the defense counsel waived or invited the error by failing to use preparatory challenge to excuse Juror MB. The law does not require criminal defendants to use preparatory challenges to reserve an unsuccessful challenge for cause. To the contrary, the Supreme Court has held that its prior decision does not require a defendant to cure a trial judge's error on the so you guys blaming it on the judge. They're blaming it on the judge. The trial judge's error on the challenge for cause by using predatory strike against the objectionable juror in order to preserve a claim that he has a right to a fair trial was violated by the presence of a biased juror. Morrison versus People and Garcia. Okay, hold on. Where are we? Indicates that there is no inherent inconsistency to the following counsel to challenge a juror for causing while also permitting her to use these challenges to excuse other jurors. We recognize that the majority in, oh my God, who's this? I'm not going to be able to say that name, but you see it, people. They're talking about case law. Declined to consider whether the waiver or invited error might apply in such situation because it was not raised on appeal. Nevertheless, the majority suggests elabide and dicta, whatever that is, that even if they were to entertain an invited error judgment, it would find no invited error because the record did not suggest that the defense counsel purposely failed to use the challenge. I'm not saying this damn word to remove the impedingly biased juror. Similarly, we see no suggestion of invited error here, and particularly In light of the defense counsel's ongoing objection, we see no suggestion of waiver in the record. You ready? Holy shit.
That was a lot of names in there.
I just skip it. If you people can read it, go ahead. If I can't pronounce it now, I'm carrying on with what I'm reading.
All right, it's my turn.
Don't you remember who's related to the DA?
I forgot. I don't even know if I knew that.
I remember, yes.
I don't know if I remember that, but I know it wasn't the judge's fault. The judge was so awesome.
He was.
We need more judges like him. I really think so. I'm so sorry for my husband. He's such a dork.
Okay, 27. Go ahead.
All right. The Attorney General relies on Justice Seymour's dissent in Abu Natabi, expressing the defense counsel's decision not to use pre-emptory challenge to excuse a juror after the loss of a for-cause challenge is classic example of waiver or invited error. Okay.
You just go blah, blah, blah. That's what I'm going to do. If I can't pronounce it, people, it's blah, blah.
Well, no, I'm trying to figure. What does it say?
I know you can.
At 44, Seymour J. dissented. Like Justice Seymour, the Attorney General suggests that the counsel may simply request and trial courts may be encouraged to grant an additional preemptory challenge. But as in Abu blank blank, the record here lacks any indication. That defense counsel was acting strategically. See Garcia. I don't want to see Garcia. Find a no invented error under the same circumstances. Additionally, we are not persuaded that defense counsel should be required to use preemptory challenge to excuse a biased juror. After the court erroneously denies a for-cause challenge. See Abu blank blank. Moreover, nothing prevents the prosecution from the using a preemptory challenge to remove a juror who should have been excused for the cause. If he was going to be a problem, he should have been excused from day one.
I know, right?
Nor are we, and both of them get to question them. So it's just as much the error on the defense as it is anybody else.
I think the defense knew, because the defense knew that she wasn't going to win that case. So they let that go. I don't know.
Okay, I might be getting this confused with the Lori Daybell one. But didn't the lawyer address it and say, hell, we know we're guilty? Was that this one or Lori's?
Oh, it was this one.
I think it was this one.
Yeah,
because they knew that. No, it was the young guy. It was Lori's. Never mind. See, I'm getting it mixed up. This one, there was the two older guys that just kept like twiddling their thumbs and moving around in the chairs, looking up at the ceiling, while she was sticking her middle finger up. And
yeah, she's looking off the camera. Where are we at?
Oh, fuck if I know. I lost it. Okay. I think we're right here. Nor are we persuaded that the defense counsel may relevel the playing field simply by requesting an additional preemptory challenge. Our Supreme Court has consistently recognized the type of error implicated here, a violation of defendant's right to an unbiased jury, as so harmful that the warrants automatic reversal. See People vs. Lockhart, 2013. Structure errors require automatic reversal without individualizing analysis of how the error impairs the reliability of judgment of conviction. The harm arising from biased adjudicator pervades and infects the entire framework of the trial. Again with a boo. Citation omitted, and and because maintaining integrity of the judicial process is in the interest not only of the accused but of the public. See People versus Nonzolino. We are not inclined to infer waiver from defense counsel failure to use preemptory challenge to correct the trial's court error.
Let's read the footnote. Hold on. There you go. Right here.
Thanks. Although Justice Seymour's dissent suggestions that encouraging judges to grant requests for additional preemptory challenges under Crim P24 would re-level the playing field. See Abu again. We are not so sure. After all defense, the counsel would necessarily premise a request for additional preemptory challenges on the court's prior wrongly denied challenge for a cause. Rulings made by the same judge, and we are not confident that the same judge would grant additional preemptory strikes on this bias.
Oh my God, these notifications. We just need to stop already.
You
Okay,
know,
I'm sorry. I'm going back. Hold
Can't
on,
the
there we go.
judge step in and be like, no, we're not retrying this?
No,
Like
no,
that would
because
make it so much easier.
the Supreme Court is his. They overrule what he did.
I know. You know, I go back to thinking about Gannon's family. Now, God forbid somebody in the Supreme Court had to go through a trial like this. Do you think they would consciously agree to it, knowing what them and their family went through?
You know, I don't think Judge Warner did anything intentional at all.
No, Judge Warner was awesome.
Yeah.
I am gonna harm me some dogs today. They are barking at each other.
Oh, do
Where are we
you?
at?
I bet you that was happened to me. I don't know what it is.
I tend to read the same sentence over and over and over again.
Wasting time and money.
Exactly.
Can you imagine that neighborhood now?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm hoping not, because I hope he doesn't get put through this again. I don't know if he would have the same type of demeanor this go around. I would feel really bad for that judge. Really, really bad.
Well, I'm sure he wouldn't be the judge. I wonder if Judge Warner's still around. Let me look.
I've seen a lot of judges resign after high profile cases.
Yeah, true.
Because Alex Murdaugh trial judge, it was like that. His case was the last case he tried. Darrell Brooks judge, I believe she retired after that case as well.
Yeah, she did.
Quite a few of them retired.
Barry Morphew. Here's Judge Warner, the amazing judge in Colorado. I think he still works.
That don't even look like him. He's shaved.
Yeah, look at that.
He's clean cut. Look at that.
Yeah.
He was all scruffy last time.
Okay,
oh my
he's
gosh.
Still a judge. He's still a judge. All right. All right, I'm going to continue reading, people. We'll get through it.
Oh,
all right. Reversal is required. Number 4. When the trial
Can you put it back on screen?
When the trial court denies a for-cause challenge to a biased juror, the defendant exhausts her preemptory challenges, and the biased juror serves on the jury. The error is structural. Okay, and then you got case law here. The result of the determination that certain relationships render a potential juror imputedly bi- bi- or biased. The juror is deemed as a matter of law to be biased. Period. Period, people. Such is the case here. Accordingly, Letitia's convictions must be reversed. Search warrant. Okay. Where did the case law come from? Oh, never mind. Search warrant. Letecia also challenges the court denial of her motions to suppress evidence obtained from the cell phone. Okay? The search of her cell phone, guys. Because this issue is likely to impact the proceedings on remand, we elect to address it. In denying Letitia's motion to suppress, the trial court acknowledged that the warrant to search Letitia's cell phone was broad and concluded with the breadth was necessary given the scope of Letitia's conduct after Gannon went missing. Letecia argues that the court erred because the warrant violated the Fourth Amendment. We discern no error, so they don't see an error. The Fourth Amendment protects individuals against unreasoned search and seizures. Okay, here's some case law. A search conducted pursuant to a warrant is typically a reason. Here's some more case law. However, so-called general warrants, what's going on here? There. Which permits a general exploratory rummaging into a person's belongings are prohibited. Okay. There's more case law. To prevent a general exploratory search, and a search warrant must be in particular as to enable the executing officer to responsibly ascertain and identify the things to be searched. There's more case law. Because cell phones contain so much different types of private data, warrants to search them must be carefully scrutinized to be sufficiently particularized. Warrants for the search of the data on the cell phone must include specific limitations based on 1. The type of alleged criminal activity, 2. The identity of the alleged victim, and 3. The time frame within the suspected crime occurred. Okay. When evaluating whether a warrant is significantly particular, we must look at the totality of the circumstances, reviewing the warrant and accompanying affidavits in a practical, common sense fashion to determine if probable cause exists. Okay? Case law. Even if the warrant lacks particularity on its face, an affidavit submitted in support of a warrant may cure its lack of particularity if 1. The warrant incorporates the curative affidavit by reference. 2. Both documents are presented to the issuing judge or magistrate. 3. Curative affidavit accompanies the warrant during the execution of the warrant. Dippy, you here? Is she here? Oh, she's here. What's going on here?
Sorry, my bad. I walked
Oh my God.
God.
You guys, why isn't this showing?
I don't know. That's what I said when you started reading. I said, can you put it back on the screen?
I didn't hear you. Look at this shit. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, these dogs.
Yeah, they sure did, didn't they?
I give up.
I am so mad. I'm sorry, guys. I've been reading. A trial court suspension order presents a mixed question of fact and law. We accept the court's findings of fact if they are supported by competent evidence, but we assess its legal conclusion. Additional facts. The investigating detective sought a warrant to search Letecia's cell phone for the following: A. Data that might identify. Oh my God, these notifications. Sorry. Data that may identify the owner or user of the devices. B. Address books and calendars. Um, C. Audio video clips related to the above described criminal activity and further described in this affidavit in support of the search warrant. D. Call histories, call logs, and visual voicemails related to the above described criminal activity and further described in this warrant in support of the search warrant. Photographs associated with metadata related to the above described criminal activity and further described in this affidavit in support of the search warrant. Text messages, multimedia messages, recorded messages, subscriber information between the cell phone owners, conspirators involved in the above described criminal activity and further described in this warrant or this affidavit in support of the search warrant for the above described items. Email messages and attachments, whether read or unread, and related to the above described criminal activities and further described. Hey guys, I just thought of something. We're on G. Hey guys, didn't Letecia fire her first attorney, her first two? This is what she did.
Yep.
She went pro se, and she fired an attorney. Okay, I just had to put that out there.
And then realized it was going to be a little bit more than what she was banking on. So she's like, hey, I want them attorney back.
Yeah. Okay, we're on G here. We'll go here. Internet, World Wide Web, browser files, including but not limited to browser history, browser cache, stored cookies, browser favorites, autocomplete form history, and stored passwords, global position, GPS. There we go. That was a big one right there. That got her right there, right here. Documents and other text-based files related to the above described criminal activity and further described in this affidavit in support of the search warrant. Applications, apps, and other installed programs, including widgets of any data stored by the application or remotely stored. Any or all computer software to include but not limited to operating systems, utilities, compilers, interrupters, communication programs, any other digital information which can be interpreted by a computer or any related component which can be stored in electronic, magnetic, optical, or digital form. Oh my God. Any and all data stored within any computer storage device or other processing and or storage devices to include but not limited to the computer applications, images, videos, text, programs, encryption, routines, algorithms, or any other data that may be decoded, reconstituted, or otherwise manipulated to produce, utilize, transmit, receive, encrypt, encode, or display such images, videos, text, programs. Oh, God. Okay, you guys. Tiffany, you want to read routines, algorithms?
Yeah, when you're ready.
Oh, my God. There we go.
We're at 36?
No.
No.
Up on top, with.
Okay.
Right.
With respect to these items, the warrant authorized police with the aid of law enforcement computer forensic laboratory to view, photograph, record, copy, forensically image, and conduct forensic analysis Jesus, of any and all metadata programs and applications on the above described devices, as well as on any data storage devices or the mediums attached or installed in those devices. Jesus. The warrant incorporated an affidavit detailing GS disappearance and Stauch's conduct thereafter, including Stauch's refusal to cooperate with police, conflicting statements and behavior, ongoing communications with the family members, and social media posts. The, the affiant submitted that it was necessary to search Stauch's cell phone to ascertain her past locations and communications and aid in locating GS, who was still missing at the time. C. Discussion. Stout argues that the warrant to search her cell phone was overbroad because I can't see, because it allows police to access anything that might be on her phone with no temporal limitations. While she acknowledges that the affidavit was incorporated by references into the warrant, she argues that it broadens the scope of the search even further by allowing a search for anything that could be used as evidence against her. We disagree. True, the warrant itself did not describe any type of alleged criminal activity, identity of the victim, or time frame within which the crime occurred, but it specifically incorporated the warrant's application and supported the affidavit that did. The warrant limited the search to the items specified specific whatever in the application and the application in turn attached the 4-page support and affidavit and made it a part hereof. The affidavit described how on January 27, 2020, Stauch called to report GS missing, stating that he had left her house on foot and had not returned. It continued to describe how during the subsequent 40-hour period. Give me 1 second. Do not read. Give me 1 second.
Yep. Okay. Refused to meet with police or provide requested info. Was unaccounted for during the part of the day when Ganna was reported missing. Called to sick to work for unrelated reasons and had been continuously communicating with her daughter, husband, and other family members via text message and Facebook. The affidavit also described that Letecia met with police 2 days after the report, when she substantially changed her statement regarding Ganna's disappearance. Letecia initially suggested Ganna went to a friend's house and didn't return, but at the police station, she said that he was abducted by a carpet repair person who had S8 her at gunpoint. I don't mean to laugh, but she really said this stuff, you guys. She really did. What's his name? Eduardo. The affidavit went on to describe a roll of carpet with blood on it that was found in a storage unit inside the Stauch's home. It also stated that Letecia's cell phone was linked to her doorbell camera security system. Based on specific incorporation of the affidavit, which was signed by issuing magistrate and accompanied the search warrant during execution, we conclude that the warrant was significantly particular. Letecia argues otherwise based on, and they give this case law, in which the court found a warrant was insufficiently particular because it contained no limitations onto the alleged victim or time period during which the crimes occurred. But as described above, the warrant and affidavit here specifically describes Letecia's conduct the first 48 hours after Gannon went missing. Okay, more case law here. Cell phone warrants were significantly particular because it incorporates affidavit describing periods of investigations. Sorry. While the warrant was broad, the affidavit was specific. It describes conduct limited to 48 hours, clearly identified Gannon as a victim, and detailed inconsistencies in Letecia's conduct in the story and the aftermath of his disappearance. Or case law. The fact that a warrant was broad, it was not just positive. Just positive. Okay. When it covered a 6-month period, the affidavit identified the victims and specific crimes, and the defendant's conduct and communicating surrounding the crimes were relevant to identifying him or her as a suspect. Moreover, hey, dip you back. Many of the categories described in the warrant were expressly limited to items related to the above described criminal activity and further described in the affidavit. While not every category included the same limiting language, the warrant's incorporation of the attached affidavit served the same function. Okay, we keep going. Warrants satisfy a particular requirement on the basis, even if could have been more particular. Because the warrant and the affidavit read together limited the search of Letecia's cell phone to a specific time frame, victim, and type of criminal activity. The warrant did not allow for general search. Instead, it targeted a set of data that allowed police to establish Letecia as a suspect. Case law. A broad search warrant nonetheless permissible when the requested evidence is justified by the nature of the crime or crimes. We therefore conclude that the Fourth Amendment particular requirements was satisfied and Letecia's motion to suppress was properly denied. Footnote number 5. Because we conclude that the warrant and the affidavit were significantly particular, we do not address whether the good faith exception applied. Oh boy, what? Okay, so here we go. Okay. Suppression based on an overbroad warrant is not required when the officers act objectively reasonable. Reliance on a warrant issued by a magistrate. We also decline to address Letecia's remaining evidentiary contention because it's unclear whether or how the issue will arise on remand. Are you kidding? What is going on? The judgment is reversed and the case is remanded with direction to Judge Gomez concurs. What's this? Oh, what's this? Okay, page 28. What is this all about here? Hold on. Oh, okay. We're going to read it. Where are we? 28, page 28. Hold on. Okay. I see Dippy left me. I see how you are, woman. Okay, I need to take a break. Hold on. Let me see what you guys are saying. I got a question. I don't know. I've never known anybody's thing that I can recall off the top of my head that their conviction was overturned? Well, yeah, I do, but these people got out of prison. Now, my question is, do they have to rearrest her, right, in prison? And does she go back to El Paso County Jail? Anybody know? I don't. How do you get Henry? I hate autocorrect. I use it all the time. And I just say, hi, how are you? It is, ain't it? I'm in shock. I am in shock. They waited how long? Ganna's parents waited how long even for a trial, right? They finally get through that. Now this. Oh God. Okay, I gotta take a drink, guys. Hold on. And it's of ginger ale, people. Don't even think craziness. Hold on. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Sorry. Hey, guys. Hey. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? No, I don't have none. You want to know why? And I shit you not. I should have taken pictures. Walmart had none. No more Propel. The only Propel they had was orange with 0 sugar. That's it. Does Letecia still speak to any of her family? I have no idea. Well, no, she don't. Well, Aunt Brenda. I don't know. I don't talk to Letecia. Leticia's girlfriend. Remember, Leticia's girlfriend wanted to knock me out. So, hey, Leticia's Amy 2.0. I hope you corrected yourself when you said some things about me in those jail calls. Just saying. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Judge Bernard. Who is Judge Bernard? Concurring in part of the dissenting in part. Assume a court error denies a defendant's challenge for causing a hypothetical juror A. Then assume that the court also denies the defendant's challenges to cause for hypothetical jurors B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Next, assume that the defendant has 16. 16 what? Where am I? Prematory challenges. She uses 7 of the challenges to remove jurors B, C, D, E, F, G, H from the jury. And then the 9 challenges to remove the jurors whom she did not challenge for cause. But she does not remove juror A, who sits on the jury to ultimately convicts her. That ultimately convicts her. In the situation, does she waive her right to contend she is entitled to a new trial because of the court errors? I would answer the question yes. Because the majority answers the question no, I respectfully dissent from the portion of, okay, they're talking about this right here. The majority opinion concluding defendant Letecia did not waive the error the trial court made when it denied her challenge for cause to the juror MB. I conclude with the majority determination in part 2 that the court erred when it denied the challenge, and with the majority analysis of the Fourth Amendment. Why do they got to be so confusing? I also address the issue that the majority does not discuss. Did not trial court err when it allowed the prosecution to present evidence concerning defendants' prior manipulative, can't even talk right. You know what I'm saying, people. Oh, here we go. behavior to review her defense of not guilty by reason of insanity. But I do not believe the court erred. I would affirm defendant's convictions. Okay. I. The interplay of challenges for cause, challenges, and the waiver for doctrine. Doctrine. Sorry, guys. Where am I? Waiver. Errors. Structural errors. Sorry, I gotta turn these notifications off. Hold on a minute. Oh, hold on. Give me a minute, guys. I gotta go bring Nala to my dad. Hold on. Hold on. Yes, you heard me, Nala, didn't you? So let's take a commercial break. Hold up.
Boot up the stream, we're rolling in. Chat's going wild before we begin. Mods in the glow like capes in the wind. Kid got the crew, let the chaos in. Hit that like for kid. Best squad ever, this is it. From Misty in the front row to Pat Sturgis in the pit. We shout one more time for kid. Hand clap thunder when we click. Yeah, we live for this. Hit that like for kid. Amber drops jokes, Carol keeps score. Coopers in caps like run it once more. Rachel's here vibing, Melissa's on fire. Angelique spams hearts, take the hype higher. Hit that like for kid. Best squad ever, this is it. Rhymes are riding every raid. Viper never gonna quit. Rapper with the one-liners. Flames, toddler in the mix. Yeah, we live for this. Hit that like for kids. All the mods in the middle, raise your hands. This our channel, this our band. From the lurkers to the loud and chat. If you feel that love, let's spam sub back. Hit that like for kids. Best squad ever, this is it. From Misty in the front row to Pat Sturgis in the pit. Carol, Cooper, Rachel, Lissa in the fix. Angelique, Runza, Viper, Rapper, Flames, Tyler lit. Yeah, we live for this. Hit that like for kids.
All right. This is what we're going to do right now. We are going to watch this right here. Hold on. This is when the cops go to Letecia's on 3/26/2019 for lying. She's a liar. You're going to see the little liar. But this is from Alex. Look at that. StreamYard muted me. What is going on? Take a look at Letecia.
And then today I came home. I just got off work out at Shreveport and hit my garage and noticed it wouldn't go all the way up. And came in, couldn't put the light on. The breaker.
What do you mean it wouldn't go all?
Like it would come up a little bit like it was on battery or something. Like it would come up a little bit, stop, and then go back down. And then I would have to I had to inch it up. You know what I mean? I had to hit the button and make it stop. And anyways, I came in, the garage lights went cut on. That little, the laundry room light went cut on. So I went and checked the breaker. Breaker had been flipped. I noticed there was something hanging at little attic entryway is in here. Mm-hmm. I noticed a string hanging down from there that wasn't there before. My wife told me.
So have you checked your house to make sure no one's in there?
No, I got my wife out of there basically as soon as I decided.
Okay. We're gonna check your house real quick to make sure nobody's inside.
And somebody has been in the back, the second whatever it's called, storm drain or whatever that you can get to the basement. Somebody's been through that window, the window way. Yeah, I'm kind of freaked out right now. Sorry. They went in the first one the other night, in or out, and I saw footprints right there today. We didn't see any footprints there the other day when the sheriff's were out here. So
okay,
yeah.
If you guys want to wait out here, we're gonna go inside and make sure.
Okay.
Where's this attic?
Right here in the garage. When I got home,
It's a bathroom go down.
I moved the cooler over here to grab that string because the string attached to the hammer was up in there.
Do you have a ladder?
I do not.
Okay. Can you see if one of your neighbors has one?
Yeah.
Because if we don't have a ladder, we're not gonna be able to get up there.
Right.
Are these like your new ones? Okay, now where's all the commotion coming from?
The attic, apparently downstairs window.
That was the thing on the down.
Also, I forgot to say on the little motion sensor app, my wife said there's motion in the basement at 526.
Okay.
What window was open the other night?
The other night was, if you walked through the back, it was the first one, basically right below the
I think we're good here because this is where she was sleeping. She was home asleep, man.
I'm shit.
All right, well, let's go down to the basement.
51. Can you purge me, please?
Intro. Recording.
Are all the windows shut?
Another one just stored.
Recording muted.
Did you look under that bed?
Is this the screen he was talking about the other night when you guys were out here?
See, I never went downstairs with them. But I knew they were saying that one case, there was one that was moved or tampered with.
It's
And then they said
wind.
they said they saw somebody running out the back as soon as they got here.
That's what he was just telling me.
Did someone take a case?
Yeah. Was it unfounded?
I don't know what they do. There was they called it bird.
feels like there's a breeze though.
There is. Yeah. Cold.
Let's be sure there's nothing. Nah, man, this window's wide open, dude.
Check myself and hold myself on the board.
Yeah. That's what I said, man. I can't find it. There's not like really a draw. No. Yeah, that screen's been removed.
I think someone was in here, man.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. How's there no footprints or anything on there?
61 status roll.
Code board.
They might keep it hit.
Oh, wait a second. But that steel grate's still on there.
So they took the time to put it back.
Yeah, but it's. Yeah, I guess that could just lift up.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, someone. I think because no one's gonna leave that damn window open. It's freaking cold.
Civil 40 in service.
We just need to figure out how that grate was. Just push it.
He
Yeah,
says there's footprints back there.
Yeah, well, it looks to me like it pushes right up because you can see there's a.
The basement things was odd, or the attic things was odd. You just said something was moved, like that thing was moved down, like the cover.
I don't know what he's talking. He said that fell down a couple weeks ago or something.
Oh, so that has nothing to do with this.
I don't know.
This one good.
They walk in. Pride. I mean, this could have been left open while they were working out down here or something too.
Yeah.
But that's weird. The screen's moved out. Did Sutter go back upstairs?
Well, it was left unlocked. I mean, it should motion. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to figure out a way to get to that attic.
Yeah. Yeah, so she said she heard the noise about 2 hours ago. Ish, give or take. And this, when I got home, I noticed there was a string. And I got her, I was like, there's never been a string. And like somebody had done that. And got up there.
The hammer was up
This
there. The
was
string was hanging
the
down.
string was hanging down. That's why I moved that over there to grab the string to see what it was all about. And that hammer, that's all right.
You have a window open downstairs.
Right, that's what I was telling you. The second one over is
Yeah.
So they
The one there. So there's one that's closed. The screen's on. That was the one from the other night.
I was in. I haven't put the screen on. So let's back up a couple of days. Sometime mid to late last week, that one that's open now, the screen had been popped off. And so we talked about it. I was like, hey, Sunday after church, I'll go get down in there, whatever. And then that Saturday night is when the other door, other window was open. You know what I mean? When we got home. Or actually, we walked in. We heard him leaving. So
Okay. I'm gonna go check the backyard.
I saw footprints also. So I'm gonna
Okay. And is the only camera you have that doorbell camera?
You got motion sensors.
Did that pick anything up?
No, because it would have alerted our phones, and she was in the house.
Okay. I'm gonna go look in the back, then I'll come talk to you.
Okay.
What was in the house?
Just right. She and my kids, thankfully, are spring break.
Who's?
That's my neighbor, and that's my wife in the car.
Okay. All right. Let me go look out back, and I'll come talk to you.
See, those cops don't believe it. Oh my God. Here I was muted. So these cops, they don't believe this. You can tell. Why do you think they're muted right now? Front and center, people. Front and center. Oh my God. StreamYard keeps muting me. This is insane. There we go. There we go. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Melissa from the bushes. Thank you. Thank you, Patty Sturgis.
Patty, do you want to play a game? I want to play a game. Ha 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 ha.
That's right. That was Letecia's house, but I thought they were going to talk to Letecia because she did that fake call to say someone was in her home. That's just to get attention from Al. All right. Okay, waiver number 46. Structural errors, even those impinging on fundamental constitutional rights, can be waived. So we got some case law here. The defendant can waive her right to a public trial and her right to challenge a juror. Okay, prospective juror who was the wife of the presiding judge over her case. That's crazy. The wife of a judge and her right to object to the judge presiding over her case. I'd never. It'd be like, you're gone. You're gone, bitch. You're gone. Where am I? And her right to object to judge presiding over her case, who had, while working as a public defender, previously represented her. And by pleading guilty, she waives a number of constitutional rights, including some that lead to structural error if error is denied, such as the right to trial by jury and a public trial. Do you guys remember when Letecia wanted to, she wanted to not do a jury trial? Do you guys remember that? Do you remember when Letecia, she just wanted a judge to decide her case and not a jury? Do you guys remember that? Yeah, that's your man. That's your dude. All right. Waiver is intentional. Yeah. Relinquish as a known right. Okay, we got more case law. Waivers may be explicit when, for example, a party expresses abandons an existing rights. Waivers may be implied when the party engages in conduct that manifests an intent to replenish a right or acts in consistency with its assertion. When deciding whether a waiver was implied, the record need only show that the defendant or the counsel made a conscious decision to forego raising a claim or objection for strategy or other reasons. More case law. We do not presume, that's a big word, acquire science? Acquire science? I don't know. In the loss of fundamental constitutional rights, and we therefore indulge in every reasonable presumption against waiver. More case law. A short history of challenges of the Colorado. The United States Supreme Court has long, what is going on here? Long recognized that challenges are auxiliary Unlike the right to an impartial jury granted by the Sixth Amendment, challenges are not federal constitutional. Okay, and they talk about some case law here. If a defendant is tried before a qualified jury composed of individuals not challenged for cause, the loss of the challenge due to the state's court's good faith error is not the matter of the federal constitutional concern. The way Colorado courts view challenges has changed significantly over the last quarter century. Before 2014, our Supreme Court required the reversal of any criminal conviction in which a defendant did that challenge to remove a suspected juror following a error denial of her challenge for the cause, ultimately exhausted challenge available to her. More case law. In 2000, Supreme Court expanded the scope of the automatic reversal rule to include the error grant of prosecution challenges, reasoning that such error gave the prosecution an unfair tactic advantage. But in Nevada, our Supreme Court abandoned the automatic reversal rule because both federal and law governing harmless error review in general and the lack of constitutional significance and challenges in particular have developed erode from the premises upon which, yes, I did skip that big word, the automatic reversal rule rested. The court replaced the automatic reversal rule with the outcome determinative rule based on harmless error standards. And it talks about our case law here. All right. An error will be disregarded unless it affects substantial rights, which requires evaluating the likelihood that the outcome of the proceedings questions were affected by error under the harmless error standard if the juror biased against the defendant sits on the jury. Such an error in structural because it violates the defendant's right to impartial jury, and the appellate court must therefore reverse the defendant's conviction according to this right here. The majority of the blank did not address the scenario we face in this case. Does the defendant waive the error if she uses all her challenges, but she does not use one of them to remove a juror whom she challenged for cause, and the court error denied the challenge? I will discuss the next. He says, I will discuss the issue next. Okay. Some might say, at least under federal law, that the issue in this case, hold on. I just want to see how everybody is. Okay. Some might say that, at least under the federal law, the issue in this case has already been decided by the United States Supreme Court. More case law. The government urged the Supreme Court to read federal law to require a defendant to use the challenge to strike a juror who should have been removed for cause in order to preserve the claim that a for-cause ruling impaired the defendant's right to a fair trial. The Supreme Court rejected the invitation, reasoning there was no federal law demanding that a defendant use or refrain from a challenge on a particular basis or when a particular set of facts are present. The court recognizes there's obvious exception to this statement, the Equal Protection Clause, prohibiting of exercising a challenge to remove a potential juror solely on the basis of the juror's gender, ethnic origin, and race. This language, some would suggest, shows the United States Supreme Court rejected the application of the waiver doctrine to situations such as this one. But I submit there are 3 reasons why Martinez did not do so. First, the language is dicta. Okay, bunch of case law. Case law. Second, in concurring facts or opinions, Justice Scalia pointed out the issue before Supreme Court was not whether a defendant should be required to use challenges concurrently when a trial court has erred, denied the challenge for cause. Where are we? Challenges for cause. Where am I? Oh, here we are. Concurring in the judgment, rather, the issue was whether defendant's actual use of the challenge to effect such a cure impinge upon his ability to exercise all challenges under the federal, whatever that is. The majority have concluded that the exercise of all defendant's challenges have not been adversely affected. Far from certain that the court's analysis of the challenge was correct, it is easy enough to agree, he continued, that we have no warrant to read, a requirement that properties, I can't say that word, be removed, used to remove veneermen, properly challenged for cause. The difficult question, however, is not whether requires exercise of, but whether normal principles of waiver disable a defendant from objecting on appeal to seating the juror who is entirely able to prevent. Then he added, I would not find it easy to overturn a conviction where, to take an extreme example, a defendant has plenty of preparatories left, but chose instead to allow to be placed upon the juror a person to whom he had registered an objection for cause and whose presence he believed would nullify any conviction. Third, a rule in federal criminal procedure, not a rule of state criminal procedure. Okay, that's 2 different things. Okay, they talk about all these state laws right here. All right. Okay, here's a federal criminal procedure. It is not law, which requires any change of course from this. Okay, to this issue is not based on legal principle that applies to the states or case law. Concurring in part that concurring in the result, Martinez and Selivar may have left open the issue of whether under federal law, normal principles of waiver disable a defendant from objecting on appeal to seating a juror he was internally able to prevent through the use of that challenge. Seltzer's opinion applies only to federal cases. It is not binding upon state courts. In other words, it does not set out constitutional rule controlling state courts. There's potential Colorado counterparts in that case. A diversion of the court decided People versus Morrison. The division concluded because the defendant chose not to excuse the juror in question by use of the challenge. Hold on a minute, I'm sorry. The court's denial of the challenge for cause did not have the effect of reducing the number of challenges that he could exercise. As a result, the defendant failed to demonstrate how the court's denial of the challenge worked any prejudice upon him. Oof, so there's a lot to read here. About 5 months after we decided, our Supreme Court affirmed the division of Morrison people. The Supreme Court opinion unspooled like this: one, we hold the trial court did not abuse its discretion in denying the defendant's challenge for cause because the jury in question stated that she could not fairly hear the evidence. Two, because the trial court did not commit any error concerning the juror, we need not base our decision on how the defendant responded to the perceived to be error denial of challenge for cause. We consequently find it unnecessary to determine whether a defendant suffers an impairment of his right to challenges if he exhausts his challenges, but does not use his challenges against a juror who originally challenged for cause. How confusing! In such scenario, the controlling question is whether the defendant's constitutional right to an impartial jury was violated by the presence of a biased juror on the jury. As a result, the division's rationale incorrectly relied on old Supreme Court precedent because those decisions did not require a defendant to cure a trial judge error on the challenge for cause by using the strike against the objectional juror in order to preserve a claim that has right to a fair trial was violated by the presence of a biased juror on the jury. The court writes, regardless of whether the defendant chose to be or use the challenge on an alleged objectable juror because he challenged the juror for cause and she served on the jury, his right to be impartial jury was violated and the challenge for the cause was improperly denied. The opinion proceeded to discuss whether the record showed the trial court had erred when it denied the defendant's challenge for cause, ultimately concluding the trial court did not. Oh my God, how confusing! Oh, now we're back to these two right here. Now we're back there. Fast forward 19 years, in which a trial court denied a challenge for cause based on section code. There we go. All that. The majority described the issue in the case as follows: what standards on reversal applies to the trial court? Eric denies the challenges for cause. The defendant exhausted all his challenges, and the challenger ultimately served on the jury. The majority answered the question this way: we conclude that the error seating of the implied biased jury is structural error and requires reversal. As a result, such an error is not amenable to analysis under a harmless error standard. Regardless of the juror's actual bias, the majority did not address the issue whether the waiver doctrine applied in those circumstances because the prosecution did not raise the issue. Hold on a minute. We're on 61. Hold on. I thought they were going to talk about Letecia. Analysis. Sorry, guys, I'm looking for something. Oh, I thought they talked about Letecia in here. Okay, here we go. I knew there would be some. Okay, hold on. Lawyer, judge, mumbo jumbo. Holy, I know. I thought they were going to talk more about Letecia. That's why I continued with that. Okay. All right. Let's finish. I conclude that the combination of awareness and deliberate conduct was intentional, and it was implied waiver of the defendant's right. What? They say it was intentional? The conduct was deliberate? Oh, no way. So definitely the Supreme Court in Colorado is blaming the judge and the DA. Hold on, I need to take a drink. Okay. And if it implied waiver of the defendant's right to challenge the court's error decision to deny her challenge to cause juror MB on appeal, defendant could have cured the trial court error, but through her counsel, she engaged in conduct that manifested an intent to replenish her right to remove juror MB from the jury, which amounted to a conscious decision to forego her right to challenge the trial court's error on appeal. I now turn to the remaining appellate issue the majority does not address. What? Testimony about manipulative behavior. Defendant asserts that the trial court erred by allowing the prosecution to rebut her insanity defense by introducing evidence showing she had previously been manipulative. I disagree. Defendant objected to this evidence, adding that the court should analyze it under case law or statute or whatever it is out there in Colorado. The prosecution relied that the evidence was relevant and the defendant's mental condition. The court decided did not apply. I will assume for the purpose of discussion the manipulation evidence was a form of bad act evidence. Yet I would nevertheless conclude the court did not err when it admitted it. Oh boy. Before Colorado switched to his present urinary trial system, the law bureaucrated sanity and guilt trials when defendants pled not guilty by the reason of sanity. Generally, evidence of prior criminality of an accused is not admissible. However, if you're, oh God, what is that? Bifurcated. There we go. Insanity trial. The rule is relaxed since the prejudice may occur by the omission of such evidence is lessened by a separate trial of guilt. Courts in other states have decided that the defendants, by pleading not guilty by the reason of insanity, make much of their entire life history relevant. Yeah? So they talk about all this case law here. I therefore conclude that the evidence of the defendant's manipulation would throw light one way or the other on the issue of the defendant's sanity, and that would strain the rules of evidence to hold that the prosecution is precluded from introducing evidence to counter a defense claim of insanity solely because the evidence involves the defendant's previous immoral and unlawful acts. Okay, what is he saying here? People help me. What is he saying here? Is he like, is this judge here like on Letecia's side here? For certain things? Preclude. So yeah. So he's saying they shouldn't have. I think. But what is the reasoning does not apply to Colorado's present trial system? Unity, Nuteri. Even if I thought the trial court's decision not to apply was error, I do not think it is reversible error. A conviction will not be overturned on appeal when a trial court an error standard of analyzing the admissibility. Jesus. All these tongue twisters of evidence is the evidence of admissible. Why? What's the difference here? Look at admissibility and admissible. Same word. Just added a few more letters. Come on, guys, that was funny. If you don't think it's funny, I don't even know what to say by now, okay? The proper foundation. The record supports a derivation of manipulation evidence and under the 4-step test. Okay. Okay. There you go. Hold up. Who's here? Who's here? Front and center. Okay, that was a lot to read, you guys. That was too much for me. Okay? And Dippy dipped out like she does, because that's what Dippy does. She'll come up here and she'll start a bunch of shit and then leave. Wonderful. How are you? I want to see what everybody's saying about this because it's shocking. Okay, let me show you guys because I know there's a bunch of new people. Let me show you Letecia. Boy, I'm going to have to catch you people up. Okay. See, these cops knew. These cops knew she was lying. Look at my peoples are here. Just had to make sure. Okay. So here the cops are confronting her.
Are you guys still here? So I was able to keep it off the carpet. You're just going to take like a wet rag to it, and it should come off.
Okay.
You said your garage door opener is missing?
Yeah, but I don't know. I might have ran. I don't know. It could have been something I grabbed with my keys and not realized it.
So, well, where would it be right now?
That's what I'm saying. We looked through the house, but it's not in there. I don't want to put that as something that's missing when
You don't know for sure?
I don't know for sure. Right.
Okay.
I could have I pulled it when I was pulling in the garage light. Nothing was working, so I was in a hurry to get in the house.
Okay.
And I had to go with me. So what I'm saying is, I don't want to say that I didn't grab it. And
Okay.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Was your car in the garage this morning? You pulled it out after he came and caught you. Okay. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. None of this makes any sense. It's weird. So I'm going to tell you how exactly I'm looking at it. He texts you right before he's coming home, and then the garage door won't work. You tell me you hear it. Well, the only way that can happen for it to go partially up, it has to have power.
Mhm.
I even tested it, and I turned the breaker off, and the garage door wouldn't move because they don't. I've never seen one that has a battery backup. Maybe some industrial type thing, but none that moves. And then there's no mud or dirt coming in that window, and nothing around it is disturbed. Normally, when somebody comes through a window, they knock stuff over and they get dirt on it and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you one chance to be honest with me. I do believe that whatever happened the other night did happen. You guys both saw it happen. And I understand if you're scared, he's out working midnights, he's gone all night, and you want a reason to have him home.
Oh, no. Okay, no.
Do you see where I'm coming from, though?
No, sir. That is absolutely incorrect.
Okay. I just have to ask you because that's what everything is
Wow.
pointing to right now.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not calling you a liar or anything
wow,
like that.
Albert, really?
I don't know. Babe.
I mean, he wasn't here.
I'm not telling you. I think I'm not.
Oh my God, are y'all insane?
No, Tanisha.
I'm telling you what I'm thinking right now.
Oh, you're absolutely wrong.
And I could be. I'm not a genius.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going inside. I cannot believe that you would let someone say that to me.
I'm not letting it. He's a police officer trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to.
I can't believe you would let someone say that to me.
Well, it's not his fault. He doesn't control what I say.
I'm not.
Really?
He does.
They have responsibility.
When I'm
And you're
like, I get
still
a CR
like
for
not
a
even
second
taking
degree.
my silence. I've been in the bedroom all night scared to death.
Hey,
We came home the other night terrified.
We did, yes, absolutely. We heard the noise and somebody definitely left.
But because you were with
Did you say
us,
4476?
it's legit, right?
That's not what, I'm not saying that.
I can't
Got it.
believe that.
All right.
This is not
So-
what it's about.
There's my card. All my information's on it. If you guys look and something ends up, you do find something that's missing or something that we missed this morning, my work number's on there. If I don't answer, just leave me a message with that case number and let me know. I couldn't get anything usable off of the window. Everything's all smudged.
Okay.
None that they'd be able to identify. What I'm gonna do now is just kind of look at cameras in the neighborhood and see if any of those possibly pick something up. Okay. All right. You got any questions for me?
No, I just want you to leave.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right. You guys try to have a better day. Okay.
Thank you.
Letecia, no, I just want you to leave. Oh my God, ain't she just something? Okay, we'll go through that some other time. Oh my God, ain't she something, guys? You don't even know. Some of you probably know. Ain't she? She's batshit crazy. Oh my God. Oh, what to do, what to do, what to do. All right, I'm going to go because that was a lot. That was a lot, people. There was a lot to read. Okay. But here we go again. Letecia's back. That poor family. So I'm going to have to catch you guys up on all this and do a refresher on everything. Oh my God. Damn right, it was a lot. Nobody would come up here and help me read. That makes it even worse. I did my best. I did my best, people. All right. I'm going to go for now and go get a drink.